What's up, guys? Today I have a fun video for the wrestling fans, and today I'm going to rank the Penn State champions from the Sanderson era. So that is from 2010 to current day. And I'm familiar with the 2021 and going forward era. I really didn't watch wrestling from 2010 to 2019. So I did a little background check on a lot of these guys, and I'm going to rank them based on their collegiate stats. I'm not going to factor in the international scene or anything like that. I will make some comments about that afterwards, but like I said, I don't know these guys by heart like many of you do, so I'm going to go based off, champions, how many titles, All-Americans, dominance, and what I've seen personally. Okay? So first, let's start off with Ed Ruth. Ed Ruth has to go in A tier. He has like a 136-3 record, so wins to losses. Extremely impressive. 3-time NCAA champion. That's rare. Not as rare as you might think, but it is rare. Very good. I can't say anything negative about him. I didn't watch him wrestle personally, but just based on his reputation and his record, he has to go up here. You can't rank him any lower. Now, I won't say S tier because there are some guys that have more titles and some awards that Ed Ruth does not have. Next, I'm going to go with somebody that I know, Max Dean. Max Dean is going to go in C tier. And, guys, I'm going to rearrange this once I rank them all. I might put somebody in D tier. That doesn't mean they're bad, but just relatively speaking. So, Max Dean has to be C tier because he was a one-time champion with Penn State. And it was his first year at Penn State, I believe. And he did really good. But a one-time champion for most programs is a legend, but for Penn State, you're quickly forgotten. Like, I don't hear about Max Dean at all. But his career overall, he was a 4-time All-American, which is showing consistency, and you got to give him props for that. But I think in his last year, he had a bad tournament, maybe from injury, and he finished in 8th place. And even though that might be valid, there are some guys like Starachi who had a torn ACL, I assume, and he got a 4th title with the torn ACL. So if there's guys who have had just as bad injuries as Max Dean but won a title, I can't elevate Max Dean to that higher tier. You get what I'm saying. Next, we have Mark Hall. So Mark Hall, actually, I'm going to put Max Dean in the D tier and Mark Hall in the C tier. And here's why. Because Mark Hall, he's also a one-time champion, but he was a 3-time finalist 3 years in a row. And he lost twice against the current best wrestler in the world, or at least for USA, in Aiden Valencia. And I'm making that statement based off the last World Championships performance. And he dominated the competition. So he lost to Aiden Valencia, and, can't fault him to that. That's elite competition. He didn't lose to some scrub that peaked in college, and, they were done. So Mark Hall, really good wrestler. He just happened to run into, really good competition that has proven themselves over time. If he was born in a different era, he would have been a 3-time champion, I believe. He was really good. I didn't watch him personally, but based on his accolades, he has to be C tier. Above Max Dean, though, because Max Dean didn't reach the finals more than once. So that's why I rank Mark Hall over Max Dean. And I'm skipping these guys because I forgot their names, so I'm going to look them up. But for now, I'm going to go with guys I know. Next is Nick Lee. Nick Lee, I'm going to put at the bottom of B tier because even though he didn't make as much finals as Mark Hall, he does have more championships than Mark Hall. And he beat some really good competition to his second title. His first title, he had a good run. He beat the guy from Iowa, Ironman. But in his second title, he beat Real Woods in the semis. I remember that was the first year I really, really started watching wrestling. And Real Woods just won bronze for USA at the World Championships. So, that's elite competition that he had to overcome to win his title, right? Now, his final match in that second title was against a 16th seed. A smart guy from UNC, but not a elite guy that has done anything international. Next, we have, I think he's a multiple-time All-American, like 3-time or 4-time. Not sure about that, but I do know Nick Lee has 2 titles, and that goes above Mark Hall. Next, I'm gonna rank. Actually, let's talk about his tag team mate, RBY. So RBY, I'm gonna rank above Nick Lee because RBY had that bonus year, and he decided to return to go for 3 titles. If he stayed at 2 titles and didn't return, I think he would be equal with Nick Lee, if not a little less. But in that extra year, he made the finals, and he was on a 56 match win streak. I remember, and everyone was saying, "Oh, it's Dayton Fix versus RBY, Part 3." We already know what's gonna happen, but that's when Vito Arujau came out of nowhere. I mean, we know he was good, but we didn't think he would ever be a champion because he was so inconsistent, injuries, whatever. But then he came out of nowhere, whooped Dayton Fix, and beat RBY. Wow, shut him out. I have not seen a guy in a 56 match win streak, reigning back-to-back champion, get shut out like that. And no fault to RBY because Vito went on to become a 2-time champ just like RBY. So it was elite competition that he faced. So RBY in the B tier above Nick Lee because he made one more final. And he faced better competition in the finals, I would say, than Nick Lee. RBY faced Dayton Fix, the first 4-time runner-up. I mean, Dayton Fix is a 4-timer, but not for the good reasons, right? 4-time second place. And he faced Vito Arujau, who would be a world champion in the future. So, RBY, you gotta go B tier. Next, we have, I'm gonna go with Vincenzo Joseph. Now, I'm gonna place Vincenzo Joseph, man, at the top of B tier. And this is the opposite of RBY. RBY got a 5th year where he went for his 3rd. Vincenzo Joseph didn't get his 4th year because of COVID. I remember that. I was in college. And they said 2 weeks, we'll be back. And then we didn't come back. And, for a whole 2 years, people were brainwashed to wear masks. Didn't make a difference, to be honest. And Vincenzo Joseph, was, I think, the number 1 seed heading into that tournament. There was a lot of studs. I think Mark Hall was on that 2020 team, I believe. A lot of these guys just couldn't get their 4th opportunity. You never know. If Mark Hall, I'm not sure, guys. If Mark Hall was on that 2020 team, I think he could have gotten another title because Valencia was out of college by then. I'm not sure. But I know Vincenzo Joseph was on the 2020 roster where the season got cut short right after Big Tens. And, he was looking really good. And I'm going to place him above RBY and Nick Lee because look who he beat in the finals, right? So, he beat Isaiah Martinez, who has one of the craziest resumes of all time for any wrestlers, one of the best starts to any collegiate career. Isaiah Martinez beat Vincenzo Joseph's teammate Jason Nolf, who I'm going to talk about later, which is high quality. So Vincenzo Joseph beat the guy who beat Jason Nolf, and he beat him twice in back-to-back years, and he dethroned him. Isaiah Martinez was a junior. He was likely going to be a 4-timer. I bet you that's what people thought at the time. And then this guy came out of nowhere as a freshman, dethroned the... I also think Isaiah Martinez was a Hodge finalist too, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe he won the Hodge. I'm not sure, but he beat him. That's the most elite win you can ask for in 2 finals in a row, Isaiah Martinez. And then in his 3rd finals, he happened to lose to Mekhi Lewis, who also he was an All-American every single year, and he made the finals again a few years later against Srirachi. So Vincenzo Joseph has only faced elite competition, and his finals record is 2-1. And 2 of those wins were against a better champion. I would say Isaiah Martinez is more impressive champion than Mekhi Lewis. And he didn't get his 4th year. I'm serious. He could have been a 3-time champion. He was really good. And I think that threw off his momentum, or I think that COVID year hurt a lot of those Penn State guys' momentum in the international scene, because I remember in the 2021 Olympic trials, I didn't see a lot of those Penn State guys from this era really do well. Bo Nickel didn't make the team. I didn't know about Vincenzo Joseph doing well. Jason Nolf didn't make the team. I think that year really threw off a lot of those guys, and it stalled their international careers. But anyways, Vincenzo Joseph above these guys. 3-time finalists like RBY. Same record as RBY, but he has more impressive wins than RBY. And same record in 3 years versus RBY's 5 years. He did more with less, or just the same. Next we have, okay, let me go to some of the OGs. I think this is Quentin Wright. So Quentin Wright, I'm going to just verify this is the correct name. I don't want to, he's a champion. He's got to get the proper recognition. But I believe he's a one-time champion. Quentin Wright Wrestling. And this is like an OG, like very beginning type of Penn State type of guy. Like I was in middle school or elementary when this guy was winning championships. So he's a 3-time All-American and a national champion based off the 2008-2009 wrestling Penn State. Wait a second. What years did he wrestle? He might not even be in the Kel Sanderson era, if I'm being honest. I need to verify this, guys. ChatGPT said he wrestled in 2011. So if you wrestled when Kel Sanderson was a coach, I'm going to include you in this list. So let me see. Quentin Wright. Wrestling stats. See, this is why I wanted to start off with the guys I know, because this video is going to get slow with the guys I don't know. But for now, I'm going to put him in the C tier because he is a 3-time All-American and a 1-time champion. But he's going to go... Ooh, actually, I'm going to have to put him below Max Dean, honestly. Or maybe higher because I think he was a multiple... Okay, his college years say 2008 through 2012, so he was part of the Sanderson era, 184. Career record, 122-32. 4-time All-American, okay. So, same tier so far as Max. But it says he's a 2-time NCAA champion. I don't think that's correct. Is he really? No way. Because if he is... Guys, I pay for the premium version of ChatGPT. This better be right, honestly. So, he says he's an NCAA runner-up. So, he already is above Max Dean just because he made the final more than once. 3rd place in 2009, 2010. NCAA champion 2010 through 2011. I think that's the first year Sanderson coached. And then 2011 through 2012, he won. He went back-to-back, supposedly. But I doubt it. I haven't seen that information online. Let me see. Record. He's a 4-time All-American. 2-time NCAA champion. Okay, but it says 2011, 2013, and 2012. Okay, so it's mostly serving as Kel Sanderson's first NCAA champion at Penn State. Okay, so not all of his titles. Oh, wait. They were. So he's definitely above Mark Hall. He's above Nick Lee because he made more finals than Nick Lee. All-American every single year. That's better than Nick Lee. And RBY. I don't think RBY was an All-American every single year. And, in this regular 4 years. And this guy has the same record as RBY, so I'm going to have to put him above RBY. Now, I'm not sure if his win streak was as long as RBY, so interchange these two. These two can be switched. Let me compare him to Roman Bravo. I'm going to ask ChatGPT this. Compare his stats to RBY. Roman Bravo. This is cool, guys. Who has the better career? Drop down in the comments. Those who know and are OGs that have been watching wrestling more than I've lived. Who's better? Okay, in the meantime, I'm going to rank somebody else. Next, we have... Okay, wait, this is a quick answer. So NCAA titles, they're tied. All-American honors, they're tied. Win percentage, RBY. Competition depth, RBY. Physical dominance, Quentin Wright. Legacy impact, slight Quentin Wright. Better pure resume, RBY. More historically important career, he was the first one, of course. So yeah, I'm going to go with my gut. RBY is the better one out of these two. So, very good careers, different weights, but yeah. Next, we have Frank Molinaro. I think that's his name. Okay. He was a one-time champion, four-time All-American. So he's in the same tier as Max Dean. Okay. I place a lot of importance in finals, appearances because I'm gonna use an example of one of the favorite wrestlers in college that I watch, and I'm biased because he's from Colorado and I support Colorado wrestling. So Andrew Lears, right? He had one of the best 141 campaigns I would say in this whole century to become champion, but he never made the finals more than once because of injury. So there's no consistency. Very good wrestler, but not replicable results, right? So when you make the finals more than once, that means you're consistently, doing everything in your favor to sustain that high performance, right? So even if you lose in the finals, it's impressive to even get there. So Frank Molinaro, one-time champion. Let me see if he made the finals more than once. I bet he did. How many finals did he make? But so far, Max Dean, least impressive career out of everybody, but he has a good career. So he only has one. Dang. Okay, so these two are on the same tier. Next, we have, I'm going to choose somebody, Jason Nolf. Jason Nolf has to go A tier. And I'm going to compare him to Ed Ruth. Compare Ed Ruth to Jason Nolf. And in the meantime, I'm going to make my own opinion about this. So I think Jason Nolf, he was a four-time finalist. So that by default places him higher than Ed Ruth. And the only loss is in his freshman year against a two-time champion in Isaiah Martinez. After that, he won 3 in a row. So this guy was a four-time finalist, very close to being a four-time champion, but 3-time champion, 4-time finalist. And surprisingly, he never got the Dodge, even though I watched in Cactus Wrestling, one of their videos comparing the Penn State champions, or something along those lines, where he had a better win percentage, better techs, more dominance than Bo Nickel or Zane, I believe. So when you can do better than those guys who are also 3-time champions, you got to be A tier up here. So Ed Ruth, it's ChatGPT's comparing both of these two. 3 titles, 3 finals appearances, 4-time All-American, career record 136-3. Wow. Jason Nolf, 3-time champion. Oh, the ChatGPT doesn't get everything correct. So guys, I'm trusting ChatGPT to get this right. It's mostly correct, but not. It says he has only 3 finals appearances, but he has 4. I know that. A 4-time All-American, career record 119-4. One of the highest ever tech and pins. That's the thing. He has less wins than Ed Ruth and one more loss. So Ed Ruth has a way better win ratio. But Jason Nolf went to 4 finals. And one of the highest ever tech and pins. That's what I was referring to. If you are really good at, in terms of dominance, you only measure that by techs or pins. And since he has one of the highest rates ever, I think he has to go above Ed Ruth, even though Ed Ruth has a way better record, or has a way better record. It's difficult to articulate because I have elastics for my orthodontic treatment, so excuse that. Yeah, very good, very good. Let's go with Mitchell Messenbrink. So Mitchell Messenbrink, as of right now, is going to go in high C tier. He's a 2-time finalist, 1-time champion, but at the rate he's going to be a 3-time champion. Unless another generational stud like Lockett or another champion from another division moves into 165, like maybe Antrell Taylor if he keeps doing good, or somebody from the higher division dropping down. I don't see anybody dethroning Mitchell Messenbrink at 165 as of now, right? Or unless Mitchell moves up to 174, and 174 always has some studs, man. I don't see this guy losing again in college, so he might finish with only one career loss. And right now he's tied with Jesse Mendes for Hodge. Like, I have Jesse Mendes and Mitchell Messenbrink in the same tier of dominance. I think after last night's performance, I would put Jesse Mendes he's caught up or if not surpassed Mitchell, because Jesse got a pin in like 1 minute. Mitchell barely got a tech. He had to use every single minute, including the riding time point, to get a tech to sustain his bonus point win streak, which is impressive. So Mitchell Messerbrink right now is a favorite for Hodge, and if you get a Hodge, that's a big boost. Big boost, which I'll debate later on in this video. So right now, his career's not done, but I'm going to put him at C tier. He has less finals appearances than Mark Hall, but the same amount of championships as Mark Hall, and they both have the same amount of Hodge trophies. I'm not going to go deep into their record because, you can't compare them. One's still going, one's done. Next we have, okay, I know I've been skipping this guy, but I just keep forgetting his name, but I need to address him here soon. But for now, I'm going to go into Levi Haynes, the teammate of Mitchell Messenbrink. And one thing that Levi Haynes doesn't get enough credit for is this guy, I think he's 21. And then there's a wrestler named Bo Bassett who's in high school, and I think he's 20 years old. According to the YouTube comments, Bo Bassett is a senior in high school, 20. And Levi Haynes is a senior in college, 21. Ain't that crazy? One's not even started his college career. One's about to finish his career. And they're only a year difference. That is crazy. But anyways, Levi Haynes, true freshman, has... This guy, from the freshman year, I knew he was championship material because he wasn't even the biggest guy at the weight, but he was winning. And that's impressive. So I knew once he filled out, he was going to sustain his dominance. His style, though, his style of wrestling, it makes him susceptible to lose more. Because with Mitchell Messenbrink, he's going to put lights out. Like, he's going to make sure he's going to win the match within the first 3 minutes with his points if he doesn't pin you, right? Like, it's never a close match with Mitchell Messenbrink. It's never going to come down to, like, the last 10 seconds because he already puts a gap on you. He creates the separation. He's a safe bet. But with Levi Haynes, he might be better than all these other guys by a lot. But his style always keeps it close to where if you can make him do a mistake like last night's duel where he gave his opponent a point for pushing him out, because of that, they were tied heading into the final home stretch in that final minute. That match could have gone either way, even though I say Levi Haynes is the better wrestler. It's like his matches are too close. He does win, though. He only has 4 career losses. And they've all been to elite guys. So, Dean Hamidi, champion, 1-time champion. Keegan O'Toole, a 5-time All-American, 2-time champion, 3-time finalist, beast. And then the guy from UNC, O'Connor, 2-time champion. And then Vinny Zurban, who's an elite guy who I knew would have been elite. Shout out Vinny Zurban, go Colorado, but when he was at UNC. So he's only lost to really good studs, and if Vinny Zurban wins the 157 title, Levi Haynes' only career losses would have been to champions, which is like, you can't really blame or, if anything, those losses raise his stock because he faced some of the best in multiple weight classes. Anyways, I'm going to put him behind Mitchell because, look, they both have 2 finals appearances. Mitchell has better win percentage or just better dominance in general. He's been talked about being a Hodge finalist. I don't think Levi Haynes has ever been considered for that. I mean, by default, he has because he's finished undefeated that 1 year. But last year, even if he finished undefeated, I don't think he would have beat Mitchell if it came down to the Hodge, right? So both have 2 finals appearances. Both each have a title. Oh, yeah, I got to put Mark Hall above them. But Mitchell right now is way better wrestler. I mean, they're both really good. Levi's like right there. I wouldn't be surprised if they go back and forth in practice. But on the mat, in the duels, Mitchell just puts guys away. Levi's matches are really fun to watch, but like they're too competitive. Maybe and honestly, I think 174 is more top heavy than 165 where Mitchell's at. But maybe it's because Mitchell's just that good. But I also believe 174 has some more impressive wrestlers in that top 10, whatever, in general. But Levi just keeps it close in general for a lot of his matches. Anyways, for now, I'm going to put Mitchell because he looks like he's going to be a Hodge winner. So Mitchell is above Levi, but Levi's a stud, really good wrestler. So, yeah. Now we're going to go with some really big names. Okay, I got to get this guy. I keep forgetting his name, guys, but we're going to get him. But for now, let's go with Anthony Cassar. So Anthony Cassar, I'm going to put him on C tier because he's a one-time champion. I believe he's a multiple-time All-American, but you could argue him above Mitchell Messenbrink because he beat Gable Stevenson, right? And honestly, if you have a win over an Olympic gold medalist or a guy who is going to become an Olympic gold medalist, I think you have to weigh that in, right? I know I'm not factoring international, but Gable Stevenson, it's not like Gable Stevenson was like bad in college and then did really good international. No, Gable Stevenson has been a beast in college every single year. And Anthony Cassar beat him. But I'm not going to really put him over Mitchell Messenbrink or Levi Haynes because he only made one finals, I believe. One. Or twice. I think he actually made two. Let me see. Anthony Cassar. I think I spelled his last name. One-time All-American. He beat Gable Stevenson. Yeah, if we're talking about most impressive finals win out of all these guys, I think Anthony Cassar has the best finals win out of all the Penn State guys. He beat Gable Stevenson. The only Olympic gold medalist who came out of college in, this era, I believe. So, yeah, it's up to you if you want to place him again over Mitchell and Levi or even Marcall for that win. But I got to accumulate everything. He's only a one-time All-American. He's a beast, though. He's a beast. Okay. I know this guy. Let me just see. I just got to make sure I don't run out of his eye. Oh, man. I forgot his name, guys. This is the one guy I forgot. But I just want to make sure I get his name right. I'll just ask ChatGPT. In the meantime, Sanderson era. Penn State. Okay, I'm just asking ChatGPT to give me his name because let's see. So we got Quentin Wright, Frank Molinaro, Jimmy Guibon? No way. Matt Brown. That's his name. Matt Brown. He's I'm going to put him in C tier. He's a one-time champion. Brown's stats. And honestly, guys, I think I might have missed somebody. I just learned that there's a guy named Jimmy Guilibon, 133. I'll talk about him, too, if I actually missed him. So, Matt Brown was a one-time champion, two-time All-American, 96-48, one finals appearance. Matt Brown is the transitioning period for Penn State. There's the Ed Ruth and David Taylor era, and then they graduated. I think they redshirted Zane Rutherford that year because they wanted to add him to the Bo Nickel and Jason Nolf recruit, group. So Matt Brown was the only good thing about Penn State that one year. And, they were not loaded. I think that's when Ohio State won that Natty Championship as a team. But other than that, he's got to go C tier. He's record not as impressive as these other guys. You know what? Wait. He's going in D tier. He's the bottom of D tier because he's not a 4-time All-American. Like these guys are, both of these, they're 4-time All-Americans. He's only a 1-time All-American. Or no, 2-time. He's a 1-time champion. 1 finals appearance. Okay, so yeah, he's bottom of this list. Doesn't mean he's a bad wrestler. He's a champion, guys. So it's just hard to be up top when you got this whole legendary lineup. Now we're going to talk about wrestlers I do know more about, where I don't need ChatGPT. Next, we have Zane Rutherford. Now, Zane Rutherford is going to go at the top of A tier because, man, he could have been a 4-time champion. His first year, he ran into a 4-time champion in Logan Stieber, who, for most people would say he's really a 3-time champion if we apply the current rules. But he faced a 4-time champion in his first year, and that's the only reason he didn't win a title. Then he redshirted. Then he came back on his 3rd year to join Bo Nickel and Jason Nolf and, do that crazy run. That really put Penn State on the map, that took it to another level. And, I don't think we saw that type of dominance in a long time where, you have a group of 3 dominant Hodge-level wrestlers, and they all became 3-time champions. That was legendary. Not even the Aaron Brooks and Carter Starachi era teams had that, because all 3 of these guys, Jason Nolf, Zane Rutherford, and Bo Nickel, could have been 4-time champions. 3 potential 4-time champions on one team in the same, and they all graduated together or close or to near it. That's, special. I think these 3 really took Penn State to the next level. They're like the Magic Johnson and Larry Bird for Penn State, if you know what I'm saying. They really put them on the map. Anyways, and, Bill Russell, it was David Taylor and Ed Ruth, and, Will Chamberlain. If you get my reference, But yeah, he's a Hodge winner over Nolf. And, if you win the Hodge, that means you're the best wrestler out of all the champions. And I got to give it to him. Now let's go with the teammate, Bo Nickel. So, Bo Nickel. Now, this is the tough part, guys. Zane Rutherford only made the finals 3 times, but he won all the times he went. Would you value the Hodge more than a finals appearance? This is tough. I think I would value the Hodge more because he won the Hodge when Jason Nolf and Bo Nickel were active. Now, I think he won the Hodge the year that Bo Nickel and Jason Nolf lost, which was 2016. He didn't win another Hodge. Wait, how many Hodges does Zane Rutherford have, actually? He might have 2. Zane Red. If he has 2 Hodges, he has to go at the top of A tier. Out of all the 3-time champions, right? All of these guys are 3-time champions. So 3 finals appearances, 1-time runner-up, 4-time All-American, 126 and 3. So almost just as good as Ed Ruth's record. Just has less wins, but same amount of losses. Career percent 98%, bonus rate 70+%. So almost good as Jason Nolf, if not better. How many Hodges does he? How many Hodge trophies? What? He has 0 Hodge trophies? I'm sure he has 1. Because I know Bo Nickel has 1. How many Hodge trophies does Zane... ChatGPT does not get this right, man. Google does. He has 2. 2017 and 2018. So he won the Hodge trophies when Bo Nickel and Jason Nolf were winning. So if you can beat... There's one thing where you win a Hodge where everybody has a weak year. Most of the champions have lost. Right? I mean, I think Nolf went undefeated that year. Maybe he didn't. And Bo Nickel won it. I'm not sure. But if you can beat Bo Nickel and Jason Nolf for a Hodge, that's got to put you up there. And he has 2, so he's definitely elite. Bo Nickel has 1 Hodge, but 4 finals appearances. So yeah, I think this is the correct order. So 3 champions, so 3 titles with 3 finals appearances. 3 titles with 4 finals appearances. 3 titles with 4 finals appearances with the Hodge. And then this is 3 titles, 3 for 3, 2 Hodge. So he doesn't have the finals appearances, but I think the extra Hodge makes it up for him to be up here at the A tier, top of A tier. Now we have David Taylor. David Taylor has to be the top of B tier because this is crazy, man. David Taylor is the type of wrestler that would have been a 4-timer in any other era. Now, I would say that a lot for many wrestlers, but David Taylor really is the guy who you should use for this example because the first year it was like a Cinderella story where Bubba Jenkins, I think that's his name, Bubba Jenkins, got his revenge tour on David Taylor. You know, he left Penn State, showed them why they made a mistake, you know, cost them a... Penn State has one less NCAA title because of Bubba Jenkins. He could have gave them one, but he didn't. He took it away. So besides the, you know, that crazy awesome Penn, you know, movie type of ending, Cinderella type of ending, you know, all right, whatever. Freshman year, no big deal. You faced a vet who became a champion. Okay, next year he wins. He's a 2-time Hodge winner. His third year, he's going back-to-back, but he faces Kyle Dake, his rival. 4-time champion, only guy to go 4 for 4 in 4 different weight classes. So, talk about probability of facing arguably the greatest college wrestler ever. I think now it's up for debate. Is it Cale Sanderson, Kyle Dake, or Carter Srirachi, or Aaron Brooks? It's really those 4. But really it's Sanderson and Kyle Dake because, you know, Kyle Dake went 4 weights. Every year he went up and won. And he beat David Taylor, who was a 2-time Hodge. That's crazy. So, 2-time champion, 2-time Hodge, 4-time finalist. So he has consistency, and he only faced the best of the best, literally. The best of the best in college all time, arguably. And then, you know, Cinderella story for that first year, crazy finish, epic match. I mean, you can't really knock that away. But he has more final appearances than all these other guys, consistent, and he has Hodge trophies. Now, you could argue he should go into A tier because he's a 4-time. Honestly, I am going to... This is tough, guys, because I value NCAA titles so much. So he has more titles more Hodge than Ed Ruth. He has more finals than Ed Ruth. But Ed Ruth went 3 for 3. David Taylor went 2 for 4. What would you rather be? Would you rather be Tom Brady? No, that's not a good example. Would you rather be Joe Montana, perfect in the finals? Or would you rather be, Peyton Manning, who went to 5, John Elway, who went to 5 Super Bowls but won 2. I mean, apples and oranges. I think you can make the argument that David Taylor should be above Ed Ruth because of the 2 Hodge. And I just want to verify that. He has 2 Hodge. How many Hodge does David Taylor have? Stats. ChatGPT is such a useful tool. Not accurate, but it's nice. So David Taylor, he only has 1? I need to verify that. I thought he had 2. How many? Yeah, he got 2 of them. He has 2. So look, I know for sure he's at the top of B tier. But with 2 Hodges, would you say that's an extra NCAA title? I wouldn't put it that much because it's, a subjective vote at the end of the day. Yeah, there's criteria, but it's such a subjective vote. Yeah, it's not like you got to go through a whole season to earn a Hodge. I mean, you do, but like an NCAA title requires a whole season of work to get to, literal, tangible work. Hodge Trophy is up to other people's opinion, but it's important. This is tough, guys. So top of B tier for sure, but I'm gonna say you could put him at A tier. He's the only 2-time champion I'm gonna put at top of, in A tier because he's a 4-time finalist and 2 Hodges. You know what? Just to make some of you happy. Nah, I don't care if you're happy. I'm gonna stick to my opinion. I'm gonna put him at bottom of A tier. I'll reorganize it. So now we have Nico Megaludis. He's a 3-time finalist, 1-time NCAA champion. He's like Mark Hall. But I think like his story is more like, wow, like this. What would you rather do? Would you rather win your NCAA title in your freshman year and then lose the last finals, like lose your way out the rest of your career, or would you rather have your losses at the beginning and finish riding into the sunset like Peyton Manning 10 years ago? It's up to you. You know, higher quality competition because he faced Valencia. Nico, I don't recall who he faced, but I'm sure they were studs. It's up to you. These two are a toss-up. Let's ask ChatGPT. Let's ask him. Nico Megaludis, Mark Hall career. Let's see what ChatGPT says. But I know he's C tier. He's only a 1-time champion, but he's a stud. Oh. I know Megaludis was a 3-time finalist, according to Google. Their records are comparable, but Mark Hall has a better overall record. Mark Hall did not make 22. See, ChatGPT is incorrect. So NCAA titles, they are tied. Finals appearances, it should be tied. Mark Hall didn't make 4. All-American honors, I'm not sure if that's peak finish, tie, weight class difficulty, Mark Hall. Are you sure? I think I'm going to stick with my guns and say Mark Hall just because of the competition. So he's top of C tier. Next, we have Greg Kirkley. And he's C tier too. Here's me, Greg Kirkley. And also, I'm going to look up a guy that ChatGPT mentioned that I might have skipped over, guys, which was Jimmy Gulabun. Guys, if that's a Penn State champion that I missed, my bad. I thought I got everybody. Four-time. Let me see. So, Greg Kirkley, 1-time champion. 3 finals appearances? No way. Yeah, 2 at least. Wait, Mason Paris. Then he won 1. I think he's only a 2-time finalist. 4-time All-American. I believe that won 2020. Beat Mason. Bro, ChatGPT is so wrong. He never beat Mason Paris, so. Personally, from my own, what I've seen, I think Greg Kirkley has to go. I think he has to go below Anthony Cassar because, look, he lost. Anthony Cassar beat Gable Steveson, who beat Mason Paris, who beat Greg Kirkley. Wrestling math. They're both 1-time champions. Now, Greg Kirkley has more appearances, but because they're both in the same weight, their eras cross over. They have common opponents. I mean, this guy beat Gable Steveson. Gable Steveson has always been Greg. So I gotta put Anthony Cassar above Greg, even though he has more finals appearances. Hey, that's the power of quality competition. And it's not like Gable Steveson was significantly worse in 2019 compared to 2025. And don't even use he lost to Wyatt Hendrickson in 2025. So yeah, it was better, but it's not like he was invincible. And Greg lost to the not so invincible version of Gable. Okay, so now we have something special. Who do we put? I think the choice is obvious, but this is hard. Aaron Brooks and Carter Strachey are both an S tier. Okay? But what is the order? Carter technically was the first 4-time champion for Penn State, but, it's because of the order of that tournament. Aaron Brooks would have been number one if they started at 184, right? Or, if they started at, 184 because he was 197 that last year. So, I honestly consider them both the first 4-timers for Penn State, at the same time. Because, if they wrestled on the mat at the same time with their opponents, they both would have finished the match around a similar amount of time, right? So I'm not going to put too much weight on who was the first for Penn State. They're both 4-timers, same tournament, equal value there. Next, Carter, if we just compare their records for the 4 years they actually wrestled. Let's see. Aaron Brooks versus Carter Strachey. I don't know why they say Strachey. It should be Strachey. Weird. Okay, so not even ChatGPT still gets this wrong. But personally, from what I've seen, this is what I think about these two wrestlers. Aaron Brooks seemed to me more dominant. Like, he just imposed his will better. However, I have seen him get, taken down and, so being surprised. He has a habit of being surprised in the worst moments, like in the Olympics. But I've seen that of Aaron Brooks in his collegiate career where somebody gets, a random takedown on him, which is whoa. He has an Achilles heel, but, nobody really gets to it. But he's so dominant in every other position. He gets points at will. He makes guys who are so elite look like not scrubs, but not that good. He faced Trent Hidlay, who went on to become a world champion this year or past year, right? And Trent Hidlay was undefeated in his last year when he faced Aaron Brooks. So that's a quality wrestler. And he also beat Parker Keckheisen, who is Mr. Consistent. Parker Keckheisen would have been, honestly, a 4-time champion or a 5-time NCAA champion if Carter Strachey and Aaron Brooks didn't exist. 4 or 5, because I think he lost to Trent Hidlay one year. But, Trent Hidlay is also a quality wrestler. There's the Carter Strachey, Aaron Brooks tier, and then there's Trent Hidlay, Parker Keckheisen tier, And then there's everybody else, right? These are champion quality, where Parker and Trent, they're champion level wrestlers in most eras. But then there's the legendary tier where there's Aaron Brooks and Carter Strachey tier. That's special. 1 of 1 or 1 of 6, technically speaking. Personally, I gotta go Carter Strachey as number 1, even though Aaron Brooks has a Hodge Trophy. That can make him equally as elite as Carter Strachey. Let's just talk about their first years. If we compare their careers when they both won 4 titles, who would you rather have? To me, at that point, it was still a toss-up because even though Aaron Brooks was so dominant, Carter Strachey has a clutch gene. I think that's where he beats Aaron Brooks. Aaron Brooks would impose his will, and his matches were not really that close, where we never see him in deep waters. Carter Strachey, in his 4th title, he beat 2 NCAA champions just to get to the finals. And then he beat the current number 1 right now in 184 in Rocco Welsh, who at that time was with Ohio State. Every year he's faced quality competition. He faced Michael Kemmerer that first year, who was really good. Then he faced, I think, a guy from Nebraska, Labriola. Honestly, not that special looking back, but he was good that year. He faced Mekhi Lewis in the finals. Every single year from 2022 and going forward, he faced Mekhi Lewis in the NCAA tournament. So he's always had to face an NCAA champion to get to the finals. And one year he faced 2 of them before even making the finals. And when it was back-to-back, he faced Mekhi Lewis in the quarters and then Shane Griffith in the semis. Now, were both close matches, but, Carter was in control, or at least composed in most of his matches where you knew he would win. Oh, this is tough, man. Oh, Aaron Brooks did not get a pin in the finals, though. Carter Strachey did. He pinned Labriola, the guy from Nebraska, that 1 year. Clutch. So that's a bonus for Srirachi. Aaron Brooks, though, he's so good, man. Like, if you want to get points, like if we're talking about points against elite competition, Aaron Brooks has the advantage. That's why he won the Hodge. He was just so dominant. I think peak for peak, I think the peak has to go to Aaron Brooks. But consistency, it's not like Carter Srirachi's peak was like garbage. It was just consistently great. Wow. Brooks was also consistently great, but he had that year where he was just like beast. And quality of competition, like I said, it's like near the same. Near the same. I mean, they both beat Parker Kekheisen, who was a 5-time Big 12 champion. Never finished lower than third. So, he is, like I'm saying, that guy would have been a champion, multiple-time champion, 3-time champion in a different era. But they both shut him down. So, it's like, okay, they have a crossover there. But let's ask ChatGPT again. Hopefully they got it correct. So, Carter Srirachi, no way their career records are like that. Let me ask Google. Career. Let's see what AI. So, both are 4-time Big Ten champions. Both are 4-time Division I finalists. Okay, but even Google doesn't get this right. Good thing I watched. This is tough, man. This is so tough. Personally, I'm going to go with Carter Srirachi because he's literally one of one. You guys can't say that, if Aaron Brooks had a 5th year, he would have won 5th. Oh, if Kel Sanderson had a 5th year, he would have won 5. But that's not certain. Look at what happened to Spencer Lee. We thought he would have been a 4-time champion, but he gets pinned in the semis. Doesn't even make a 4th final. Yet he's the most dominant 125er. Like the same level of dominance as Sanderson, Gable Steveson, Aaron Brooks, or even more dominant than Aaron Brooks. Yeah, he didn't make 4 finals. So you can't say for sure that these other 4-timers would have gone to a 5th. Now, would I have bet that Aaron Brooks would have gone to the 5th final? For sure. Because looking at that competition that last year, he would have definitely won. Now, 197 last year was way better than when 197 was for Aaron Brooks that final year, I think. More quality. They had AJ Ferrari, they had Buchanan, they had Cardenas, that like that. That would have been a great test for Aaron Brooks. Great style matchups against Brooks, too. I would have loved to see that. So, I'm not certain Aaron Brooks would have for sure won that 5th title if he wrestled last year. Or even in 2020, his freshman year, that COVID year. So I got to give the edge to Srirachi because, 1 of 1, 5 titles. Quality of competition was at least the same or comparable. I think Brooks beat an Olympic medalist in Amin that 1 year. So that's like, okay, I think that puts him over the edge of Srirachi, but Srirachi has beaten more champions. He's beaten more champions. This is tough, guys. All I know for sure is that these two are at the top. And what's so cool about it is that they're like they have their own era of Penn State. There's the David Taylor era with Ed Ruth. Then there's a transitioning era with Matt Brown. And then there's the 3-headed monsters of, these three. Nolf, Bo Nickel, Zane era right there. And then there's like that COVID era where it's transitioning to the Srirachi and Brooks. These two they're part of 2 different eras. They're part of like that 10 All-American team, I think. No, not Brooks wasn't part of that, I think. Yeah, he wasn't. But either way, I think this is the correct way to rank them. Now, let's say if we were factoring international success, if we were factoring international success, this guy, I think Molinaro's his name, he would be up here. Because he was an Olympian. I mean, just by being an Olympian, that puts you in S tier. How many great... Bo Nickel was never an Olympian. Jason Nolf was never an Olympian. Ed Ruth was never an Olympian. I mean, Zane Rutherford became an Olympian. But, shoot. Zane's got to be up here. And this guy's a world champion. He's got to go in S tier. David Taylor, obviously, probably the number one out of this whole group, Olympic gold medalist. That's above a world championship, even though they're in the same. It's the same tournament, but different organization. Olympic gold is more rare just because of the frequency. Therefore, I weight it. I place it more high than a world championship gold. I'm sure everybody believes that too. Who else? Oh, RBY. I think would have to go in S tier too because he's an Olympian representing Mexico. He beat Nick Lee to qualify for the Olympics in that tournament in South America, I think, or somewhere along those lines. I mean, there's so many guys that are down here that go in S tier because they become Olympians, and they can never take that away from you. But either way, guys, just based on college career, I think this is the correct order. So the discussion of the day is, what would you rather have? 4 NCAA titles with 1 Hodge, or 5 NCAA titles, 0 Hodge? That's tough, man. I think I would rather be 1 of 1 than be 1 of 6 or 7. How many 4-timers there are? Yeah. So that's the video for today, guys. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.